Hello, Pewter people. Scott Reynolds here with another Pewter Pulse. Today's topic, wow, this kid's got me excited. Rookie running back Sean Tucker, already the Bucs' number 2 running back on the depth chart. Now, it may or may not reflect that when the official depth chart for the Week 1 season opener against the Minnesota Vikings comes out next week. But I'm telling you, this kid, he's going to end up being the number 2 running back and probably in Week 1. We'll see what happens with Chase Edmonds. He missed the last 2 preseason games due to an injury, and it's already the second time that Edmonds has been injured. He missed some time early in the OTAs with an injury, but boy, this Sean Tucker kid, he is impressive. The thing is he led the Buccaneers in the preseason in terms of rushing. 23 carries for 81 yards, had a 3.5-yard average. Longest run of the preseason was a 26-yard jaunt that came on 4th and 1 in a very electric play against the New York Jets in week 2 of the preseason. The thing I like about this kid is just the explosiveness he has. Now, he did have a bit of a modest 3.5-yard average, but keep in mind some of those runs, especially against the Baltimore Ravens in that last preseason game, were not behind the Bucs starting offensive line. So that does take factoring into the equation, if you will. And remember, he also had a 12-yard touchdown run called back due to a penalty, a very questionable holding call in that week 1 loss to Pittsburgh in the preseason opener. If you go back and look at what he was able to do at Syracuse, back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, I think this guy has 1,000-yard potential in the NFL, probably not during his rookie year because we know it's going to be the Rachaad White show. But both of those seasons at Syracuse, he really showed he also had a nose for the end zone. In 2021, he had 1,496 yards and 12 touchdowns while averaging 6.1 yards per carry. The next year, just topped 1,000 yards, averaging 5.1 yards per carry with 11 touchdowns. So I really like what this kid brings to the table in terms of his elusiveness, speed. He's got enough size at 5'9", 207 pounds, where he can get in there and bang and get some extra yards. He's tough to tackle, and tackle breaking is probably the number one ability for running backs coming into the league, not necessarily speed, but this kid's got it. He actually is the fastest running back in Tampa Bay, running just under a 4.4. And it's a remarkable story because when you look at Sean Tucker, he had that heart condition that was discovered at the combine that caused him to go undrafted. Probably would have been a 3rd or 4th round draft pick if not for that, and missed the entire offseason. The Buccaneers were very cautious and did not rush him back. They wanted to make sure he was past this heart condition and medically cleared to play. And certainly that was the case during the preseason and training camp. Really stepped up, and it's remarkable that he's been able to climb the depth chart the way he has with not having that offseason, missing the rookie minicamp, the OTAs, the mandatory minicamp, just basically being a spectator. But once the pads came on, we saw what Sean Tucker could do in a training camp in the preseason. So when you look at the depth chart, Chase Edmonds going to get some touches, probably going to be more of a 3rd down back than Sean Tucker. I like what Sean Tucker can bring in the receiving game, especially in the screen game where he had a 15-yard catch and run on a screen in the preseason. Did have a drop and will have to work on pass protection to really earn that trust. We know right now that Rachaad White is going to be the lead back, but Dave Canales, he wants to have a nice 1-2 punch at the running back position. It was going to be possibly Keyshawn Vaughn. He was the number 2 back heading into training camp, but he's really kind of slid down this depth chart. 17 carries for 22 yards. That's only a 1.3-yard average. Now, again, Vaughn's carries, not all of them came behind the starting offensive line, so you have to take that into consideration. But he's probably going to be primarily used on special teams, where Sean Tucker is going to be the number 2 back and getting an awful lot of touches as a rookie, spelling Rachaad White and being a nice compliment. I think you're going to see some Chase Edmonds sprinkled in, but Sean Tucker is going to be at that number 2 guy, and he's deserved it. He's very deserving of that opportunity. He's got speed, elusiveness. Those are 2 awesome traits for a running back to have, especially in this mid-zone, wide zone scheme that Dave Canales is deploying here in Tampa. He's a great scheme fit. Make sure that you are following and subscribing to Pewter Report TV. That's our YouTube channel, and liking all of these videos, whether it's a Pewter Pulse video or whether it's the Pewter Report podcast or any of the videos on Pewter Report TV, our YouTube channel that helps us get in front of more Pewter people like you, helps our algorithm with the YouTube mechanism there. And you can also follow us on X, Facebook, and Instagram at Pewter Report, and also visit us at pewterreport.com for the latest breaking Bucs news as well as game coverage. And I'll be back later with another edition of the Pewter Pulse.